And I'm going to call the August 1st Parks and Rec Commission meeting to order. Okay, and in attendance, and this is August 1st of this year. And in attendance is Mary Ellen, Sarah, and Missy, Don, and myself. Brendan cannot make it, Ryan can't make it, and Tim can't make it, but we do have a quorum, so we'll be able to proceed. Okay, that's the PRC attendance. We're recording with the new, what do they call it? Tim's, no, whatever it's called. Okay, and first thing on order is to approve the previous meeting minutes. I read them over. Mary Ellen, I found one correction on page 3. Okay. And on page 3, halfway down, old business, approved pavilion site. Bob Dunn will obtain an estimate for the stamped concrete versus regular concrete pavilion pad, not path.
Pavilion pad?
Yeah, pad.
Oh, okay,
I haven't gotten anything for the path yet. We're gonna see if
okay,
Public Works can do that. And we already had a price for the pad itself, a cement pad, but that was 2 years ago. And it was about $6,400.
okay. So you're gonna get new pricing for,
I'm gonna ask Mr. Macknick if that has changed, and we'll find out, about that. And I'll also, when we get to that part of the old business, I'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, but anybody else see any corrections on the, the meeting minutes? Would someone like to approve or make a motion to approve the 6/6/24 meeting minutes?
I can make a motion.
To approve, okay, to approve.
And I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. I think we've had a discussion about it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, staying none. Okay, now, next we go, and before I forget, before we really get this meeting going, I'd like to congratulate, Liam, Corrigan and his 3, rowing mates that won the gold medal today. I think it was the first gold medal, in rowing in 64 years or something. And so congratulations to the, our local guy, Liam, and the other 3 crew members that he had. I was in Seattle last week and my times are all messed up. So I was up since 4:00 in the morning. Really tough coming back. You know about it when you travel. Oh, God. But anyway, I was in Seattle to see my son last week, who is now out there for the week. But, so congratulations, Liam, and your 3 mates, and, keep up the good work. Okay, we approved the minutes, update on PRC programs and facilities. All right,
Since the last June meeting, we had some stuff that was just wrapping up. Briefly, our 2 basketball camps, our adult softball sessions, adult basketball, and women's basketball are all wrapped up in the springtime. There's a little bit more details on here, Mary Ellen. A little bit more details on here and that, but those spring programs are all wrapped up.
okay,
And Zumba toning as well. Summer programs, again, this report will have more details in it, but I'll just kind of breeze over them. The day camp will end tomorrow after 6 weeks. It was held over at the high school. There was 300 kids registered, more than we've ever had. Camp was staffed by 3 supervisors and 32 counselors. In addition, there were 18 counselors in training who periodically volunteered their time as helpers. Our aftercare program also ends tomorrow. There was 70 kids registered in that. Again, that's the most we've ever had. And I'd just like to say that the camps, the day camp and the aftercare program are very big tough programs to put together and manage, and I think everybody did a very good job overall. So I extend my congratulations to the staff for that. Next week, our CAS soccer camp is scheduled August 5 through 9 up at Townwoods Park. Currently, there are 51 registered participants. Yoga on the beach is going on right now down at White Sand Beach on Sunday mornings. That'll run through, it started in May, it'll run through September 1st. There are currently 12 participants registered. We have new tennis camps, tennis sessions. We are holding at Cross Lane Tennis Courts. There's a junior tennis for ages 12 to 18 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That'll go through August 15th. Adult tennis and introduction to tennis will go on Mondays. That's in the evening, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Then they have an adult intermediate doubles tennis, which meets on Wednesdays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Those are all new stuff for us. Pickleball, all those sessions are held at Cross Lane. They're pretty busy. Open play pickleball court time daily is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The senior center programs that they have are on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 3 down there. We have skill clinics being held on Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. and Saturday mornings, 8:30 to 10. And when he held a summer pickleball tournament, Saturday, June 29th, they had 2 divisions of competition. There was a rec division, from 9 to 12, and there was 10 teams participating in that. And the premier division was from 12:30 to 3:30, and 9 teams participated in that. Our fall programs, fall soccer registration will open on Monday, August 5th. The season is scheduled to run on Saturday, September 14th through October 26th. We'll have a coaches organizational meeting on Saturday, September 7th. And the program is open to Lyme, O-Lyme kids pre-K through grade 5. And our Zumba toning program is scheduled to run on Tuesdays, September 10th through October 29th. And that'll be at 6 to 7 p.m. That's held at the center school. And adult volleyball, adult soccer, adult basketball, and women's basketball programs are in the planning stages and are expected to start by mid-September. There will also be a fall pickleball tournament similar to the one we had in June, and updates on all these programs will be provided. Facilities through the spring and summer, Townwoods Park, Haynes Park, Cross Lane Park, and White Sand Beach. All facilities are open and have been in use daily in the spring and throughout the summer by various groups: Connecticut River Lacrosse Club, Lyme O-Lyme Soccer Club, Lyme O-Lyme Little League, District 18 Rowers, O-Lyme Rowing Association, Shoreline Sting Softball, Shoreline Breakers Softball, Cross Baseball, and the general public. LYSB schedules beach dances on Tuesdays, July 2nd through August 13th, from 7 to 9 at White Sand Beach. And Beach Bingo was held on July 24th, and the second session will be Wednesday, August 7th, 6 to 8 p.m. Don't miss it. They hand out good prizes. And just in general on the facilities, there have been no major issues with any of our facilities so far this season. That's it.
How about you mentioned this morning, the water quality down at Haynes Park once again failed or something? No.
It failed. We got a notice today that it's back up and running.
Oh, it's okay today?
It's okay today. Just as a FYI, on Monday, they sampled, and on 17 areas in the 17 places in our area showed sample results exceeding bacterial action levels set by the state of Connecticut. In O-Lyme, Rogers Lake, Hawks Nest Beach, Miami Beach, Soundview Beach, Old Colony Beach, O-Lyme Shores, in Ledyard, Highland Park, Stonington, Lords Point, Williams Beach, New London, L&M Beach, Green Harbor Beach, Waterford, Pleasure Beach, Millstone Point Beach, East Lyme, Pine Grove, Groton, Nowak Dock, Mumford Cove, and Juniper Point. All tested high.
Would that be from the sewage release?
That's from the rain probably, right? Because was it raining?
They've all-
'Cause I only got back on Monday, so I don't know what was going on.
They've all tested fine again, so we're up and running.
So sometimes they say when it rains a lot, the
Yeah,
bacteria level goes up. Well, okay, Don, well, that's good to hear that it was okay today. Any questions for Don on on his update on programs and facilities?
No, I just want to extend a tremendous thank you to you and Winnie for the great work that you have done and continue to do. I'm just blown
Thank you.
away every month by the updates. And I'm fortunate now to have a 6-year-old who just finished the Park and Rec program
Yep,
and literally loved it. He doesn't ever want to go to like camps and he's loved it. So it's a testament to the
Good.
great things that you guys do.
Good.
So thank you.
Well, and it's good too, because like a lot of the local kids go, so they have friends there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and it's so affordable.
Can't beat it.
I can't.
Best deal in town, right, Don? One of the best, one of the best.
It is.
Okay, yeah, Don and Winnie have been doing a great job with all the programs, really have increased significantly this year with the help of, Don has helped with Winnie, and they're doing a great job together. Okay, the next one, the old business, approved pavilion site, a current swing site, base, regular concrete versus stamped concrete. Tom Macknick, gave an estimate for what the additional cost would be for stamped concrete, which is then treated, I mean, it's colored and treated similar to what's inside the, Town Woods Field House. And that additional cost will be $7,000 more. And 2 years,
Additional. to the
additional
stamp?
just to do the stamp,
Ooh.
which makes it kind of,
Additional how much? Sorry.
$7,000, and before, 2 years ago, it was $6,400 just for regular concrete base. I think that kind of negates getting stamped concrete. Plus, I was gonna ask Winnie, because stamped concrete is kind of like a smoother paver kind of thing. That would be okay for ADA? Okay, but, my feeling is that additional cost really is not worth it.
What's the cost for just plain concrete?
About $6,400, that was 2 years ago. So we'll have to see if that's changed, because everything, as everyone knows, seems to go up.
So basically, if you get stamped, it's double.
Yes, it's adding another $7,000
Let's
to
do
it.
that on something more fun than concrete.
It's fancier, but I don't think it's worth the expense. Would anybody else like to comment on that? Sarah, Mary Ellen, Don? No? So everyone is in agreement that we'll just go with the regular concrete pad? Okay. The ADA pad, I did not get an estimate on it yet, but, cause I don't know, at one point we talked about maybe town crew doing this, but I don't know if that's gonna happen, but, additional ideas on the reinforced turf. You can get reinforced turf and try and plant grass in it, which is gonna be difficult since we don't have irrigation down at Haynes Park. But they do have like, and I was gonna ask Missy, is this acceptable? Very small stones, kind of like, almost like dust, like stones.
Like stone dust, like you do a driveway?
Well, they have little stones too, that could come, you could get like gray as a color. Would that be,
So instead of
instead of trying turf and growing grass, because we don't have irrigation down there, it's gonna be awful hard to grow grass. But we could try.
well, I know behind the school,
Huh?
years ago, when they put it in, it just grew in with whatever grass, like crabgrass, and it was, you couldn't see the stuff from.
Yeah, we could try that, but also at the same
Something
token,
that's safest.
would small stones work?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I can,
Yeah, could you check, please, to see if that would work? Cause if it was like gray stones or white stone, might look okay. What do you think, Sarah?
If it's ADA acceptable, maybe I would worry about it cleaning it and rain and wash away and
Yeah,
all
washing
that,
away and getting like
Yeah.
like
kids
gross
throwing
everywhere.
it.
Yeah,
But I think we have to realize though, if we try and fill up the little squares, grass, we're probably not gonna get a very,
But I think like, to Mary Ellen's point, I think it just grows with weeds basically and then gets like cut over and just stays.
yeah. But that's the current idea for the paths. Any other ideas? So we'll try and do it with topsoil and grass seed and try and grow grass on it.
I thought that that was like what we had kind of talked about.
Yeah, but I did see you could, but I don't know if it's ADA acceptable, little stones in this stuff.
I mean, I know my driveway is stone and it's hard as a rock, but that's the way you do it, so but I don't know about if it's.
Yeah,
I
I would
don't know
prefer
about a
grass.
chair, I don't know.
What are your feelings? But we're not gonna, let's be obvious and.
I'd rather still go with the other one. I think the grass will grow in between there, what's growing there at the lake now isn't a nice lawn, it's just grass.
No, in fact, we'll talk about that a little bit
I mean,
later,
we're hoping it all through.
about dredging, possibly, again, that we wouldn't want to put any more, soil there and try and grow better grass until we
Until we're done with it.
cleaned out all the muck. If we're gonna maybe get money to do that, but
What do you think, Sarah?
I think there's a lot of topics to discuss with Haynes Park. Maybe we come back to the materials once we've talked about all the,
yeah, all the other stuff we talked about, yeah, well, there's a lot to still do, and we're going to try, we've actually implemented a couple plans already. Okay, so, I'll look into that more, and Don, maybe you and I can ask the town crew if they're able to do something like this,
You can ask them.
yeah,
What do
okay.
we call the reinforced? I can't think of the name. I know.
Cool.
With the.
Reinforced turf.
Reinforced
Thank
turf,
you.
reinforced turf.
Okay.
Okay, any other thing on that? No, okay, next one. Sarah has been doing a marvelous job communicating with the BSC people, about the survey for Haynes Park, and she's provided us with one photo that which everyone got. And then the latest is the survey plan that I was able to print this out.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask Sarah before we get into discussing what's here, whether or not the rest of the park is included, or can we include what they already have and then put this in?
what do you mean the rest of the park? Sorry, I'm not sure.
Well, the restroom, I think the restroom, is not,
Oh, into the rendering?
yeah,
Yeah, so the reason I asked for that was to be able to facilitate Don's good suggestion to stake out where the pathways will go in relation to where the playground will be,
yes,
and basically get a good sense in situ of where everything will be. Because one thing that the initial preliminary drawing showed is that we have to navigate through a lot of trees
yes,
and just sort of the length of the pathways. So we should be on site when we make this decision around where the playground should be, because its current location may be a little bit further back than where its
Yeah,
ideal location may be.
to move it closer to the lake.
Right, but I think we wanted to stake it out. So that showed you the dimensions for
Okay,
purposes of
everybody got this, right?
knowing what
Okay,
ESC
and
is.
I had another picture too that just
Yeah,
was-
so, and they're not gonna finalize it until we basically, they said they'd do like one revision for us, kind of within the pro bono, which is fair.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to just make sure we know where we think everything's gonna go before we ask them to do the revision of the plan.
Okay, so basically, we're gonna stake out what they have here. I just noticed one thing. It's a 12 by 22 pavilion, and the original thought was to make the pad 14 by 24, but they have different dimensions here. I don't know.
Okay,
Uh,
I,
it's the pavilion itself is 12 by
Yeah.
22 feet. And, the Macnick, Tom Macnick said a pad of 14 by 24 would be
Okay.
sufficient
I'll make sure. that-
to anchor it in. That's one thing I noticed on this
Okay.
This survey diagram.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Don, are we going to have swings anymore? Are we getting rid of swings?
We have
Yeah,
swings.
yeah, it's in there.
Oh, you gonna get new swings?
Yeah.
Something, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and this other thing is kind of what the playscape's gonna look like?
So I used the actual playscape that we approved,
Yes,
the spec, and
yes,
sent that to them. So the dimensions that they got were based on that actual playset
yes.
with the appropriate boundary.
So if we go out there and stake it, we may want to move everything a little bit this way.
I think so, but I think staking it will help us. Yeah,
Yes.
it just seems, when we saw the paths drawn out, it seemed kind of remote,
Yeah,
although it is really shady there. So there's lots of different trade-offs. We might even have to move the fish ladder thing, which was the other.
the fish ladder sign. We could, well,
Because we got kind of.
and, yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
a big
think we have to, but also, we have to be cognizant of the fact, I believe, that the path has to be 3 feet wide, which I would imagine that is 3 feet wide, the path. And you get up to 60 feet, before you have to have like a turnaround. I
Okay.
believe it's 60 feet. So we'd have to measure if this area for sure to get to the pavilion is well below 60 feet. But if we have something going on over here, I don't know if the whole path would be 60. But if we move everything over, maybe we can do it for 60 feet without putting a circular thing around.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, this was very good. And Sarah, thanks so much for working so well with these guys to get this. Now, are we gonna go out there someday and have a field trip and stake it
Who
out?
else would go other than the people at this table?
Huh?
Who else would go with this? I mean, is it just up to us or do we have to,
It'll be up to us.
just up to us? Okay.
Yeah,
Are
and
we, I just don't wanna, step on anybody's toes
well,
and hold this up.
it's the Park and Rec Commission's gonna make the decision on this.
Okay.
And possibly other people want to see where basically,
Like Phil Parcheck's, he got any interest in this or?
they don't know, but anybody's welcome to come down and look at it. I think Barcheck, I can get them to come down and look at
I
it.
didn't know, just somebody with, I mean, I can say something looks nice, but I don't know. I mean, the plan is made to be our
But
guide.
can we get the new facilities guy involved too, Don?
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, so if we could get Bill Barcheck and what's the new facilities guy's name?
Eric Olson.
Yeah, if we could get him, also to
I think
be
it
a
would
part
just
of
be-
this. And then we have to pick a day. Okay, now, of course, summertime is tough. We have 3 people that are away and can't make the meeting tonight. But we could maybe, what would be a convenient time to go down there on a Saturday or Sunday or? Because I know some of you gotta work.
Well,
Can we set up a tentative date today?
I mean, weekends in the summer are not easy, I don't think, but. I mean,
when is it the most crowded down? I mean, is it a safe time to go, like, say, 6:00 at night, or would you rather?
We could do that, yeah, because it's light out until 8 o'clock.
I mean, I'm thinking of
Usually the
Raoul.
rowers can have second session down there in the evening.
Well, but if we can find someplace to park, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
parking's the only issue. No.
yeah, we could, I think. Cars, what do we need? Bill, the other facility guy, 4 of us or something, what, 6? Yeah, it may be an issue, but we could always, if worst came to worst, we could park out on Route 1 and just pull the cars onto the grass or something. And there is the entrance to the boathouse driveway that can fit a car into. So,
Well, how soon do we want to do it? I think we want to get this done, right?
yeah, the sooner the better.
I defer to Don since you're staking it. I'm happy to help with that, but I'm dimensionally challenged, but I can delegate my husband to help. So whatever works for you, I can make it work.
I think Eric Olson would be very handy with that.
Yeah, we'll get him to
Oh,
help.
okay.
So basically, let's talk to Eric and see if we could get some weekday night? Better
I
than
mean,
week-
can anybody go? You can't go, you have no flexibility during the day, right? Like when
Oh,
Eric's
yes.
working? Like, I wonder if it would be convenient to go like at a time that Eric was here, you're working.
Yeah. Or three.
We'll go, how about lunchtime sometime?
Yeah, I think that that would be,
That would be a good idea.
I don't know about your flexibility.
I only work, well, I work 3 days a week, so we could take a
So-
day.
so-
I have to work through lunchtime. But I could come in.
What day, you only work 3, so you have 2 days you don't work. What days are those?
I could send you my days off.
Okay, yeah, why don't you do that and we'll see if we can arrange
I
something.
could always see if I could get a coverage for the lunchtime hour, but then I could come at lunchtime any day.
Okay, so why don't you give us, a couple, do you know what your schedule is the next 2 or 3 weeks? Oh,
But not
okay,
right now.
yeah, because the sooner the better.
Okay.
So, and I would not say, well, maybe towards the end of next week, we could pull it off.
I mean, I'm off Monday, and Tuesday this week, coming week, I can tell you that.
I
much.
don't,
But
do
that's
you think we get
probably-
Eric involved and do it by then? If we can. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna ask Garrett when he can get involved in this. The idea is to go at lunchtime. Either this week coming up on Monday would probably be tough, maybe Tuesday. I think the weather's supposed to get a little less humid and hot too. Sarah, does that work for you next Tuesday? We
See,
shoot for,
Tuesday. and
yeah,
see-
let's try and do it for Tuesday. How,
What-
Missy, how's that look for you? And then we'll ask the 3 that Tim and Brendan and
What day
Brian.
is Tuesday, does anybody?
The 6th.
6th?
And everybody doesn't have to be there if you can't make it, well, just as long as we have a couple commissioners there, along with Don and the
There's
facilities.
no rowing at that hour.
No, at lunchtime, no.
Okay.
Missy, Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, I have a program. But maybe I could get out of it a little early,
Okay.
but I can't.
Or, yeah,
But you also don't need me. Just take it out.
yeah.
What's lunchtime? 12 or 1?
Huh?
What's lunch? Did you say lunchtime? Is that 12 or 1?
I don't know what, I mean, those days I wasn't.
Oh, you, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anytime you want
How
it.
about
but
Tuesday,
when's your
Sarah?
program?
Yeah, because I think it's important, Sarah, you be there.
She's
Because,
the queen. She has-
well, she,
Sarah, is it easier for you like at 8 o'clock in the morning than in the middle of the day?
Oh, it varies by day. I'm pretty flexible though. So
I say,
Tuesday, I'm available from 9 to 10 and 12 to 1.
oh, there you go. Okay, so we'll shoot for Tuesday,
Okay.
and we'll try and get Eric,
I mean, I don't care if it's 9 to 10. I mean. if
we'll try and get the facilities director and I'll give Barcheck a call, but I don't know if he's even around or what.
I mean, I can just tell you, not that I am important to be there at all, but 9 to 10 would be much easier for me
Oh,
than.
okay.
So why don't we shoot for 9 to
Yes,
10?
it's good for me too.
Okay? 9 to 10, okay, on Tuesday, okay? All right, let me put that down.
And who's asking Eric?
I guess.
I am.
Oh, you want?
Don will ask Eric.
John will contact, it's Eric Olson, Olcen, Sen,
Well, that's, yeah.
and he's our facilities person?
Yes.
Did he used to be a policeman?
No, his brother.
Oh,
right.
Tuesday, 9 to 10, is that what we're shooting for?
Yeah.
Okay,
Eric was the chairman of our OSB board.
Awesome.
oh, okay, so we're gonna contact Eric and we're shooting for Tuesday at 9 to 10. And if that doesn't work, we'll try and get another time. And that would be good if we could do that on Tuesday. Okay, so Sarah, thank you so much for doing all this and we'll go out there and we'll, see if we can move everything over and the path looks good, one path for the two spots. And
so the hope is things would be placed, and then once they're placed, then we would do the paths, staking out. I mean, we're gonna kind of know where the paths would be.
yeah, we're gonna, this week coming up, we'll ask, Ed and Dante whether or not these guys can do it, the reinforced
Okay. Or if they-
turf, okay? All right. Anybody else on the survey? No? Okay, and we're shooting for a 9 to 10 meeting on Tuesday. Okay, the next one, is goose mitigation, approaches and action. Uh, I got a few estimates and a few numbers. Don pointed out that I found this decoy, everyone got this, seems to work. It's got a favorable rating of 4.8. Okay, being that people like, this seems to work as long as you move them around every 3 or 4 days.
Are they
And,
anchored?
there's just a stake, a wooden waterproof stake that is kind of in there. Now these, huh?
Order 3, yes.
You, Don ordered 3, so
He'll be here
hopefully,
next week.
so hopefully they come next week and we can guess what position would be best to put them.
How long they'll stay here?
Okay, and, but 4.8, not bad. Now, Martha said she went up to some lake somewhere, for a few days vacation. And she came up, they had floating swan decoys, that go, first of all, the coyote was $69.95 a coyote. So we're gonna get 3 of them, do the math, okay? Don has ordered 3 already. Now, the other one is, do we want to see how they work before maybe getting a floating pair of,
So the geese don't like the swans.
that they don't like swans, and that got a rating of 4.5 out of 5. So both these seem to work a little bit, and I guess Martha's friend that had a pond or something up there, wherever she was, seemed to think this was good. Should we want to get a pair of these? Why not?
Well, now I have a question. We're only discussing the park here. We're not talking about the problem elsewhere with the geese.
What's that?
Like the fields. The coyotes would work for the fields. Are the 3 coyotes for the lake?
We're gonna try them out there for, that's our biggest problem, is at the lake. Now, if we have some success, we can expand the coyote program. Or move, buy some extra, just move these around.
Get the geese for Cross Lane, throw them in the pond. Get the coyotes for Haynes Park, see what works better.
I think we should get some real coyotes.
We could get dogs, but that.
I know that Ryan's not here, but I know was upset about all the geese poop on the fields.
And there's a lot.
Oh, on Townwoods Park.
No,
Have you-
Cross Lane.
But, Cross Lane, yeah, if this works at Haynes Park, I think Cross Lane would be the next one, because Townwoods Park,
Park is too big for those 2 swans. Like Rogers Lake is too big for those 2 swans, right? Am I?
well, you put them by like the docks, or what you do is they've got an attachment on the bottom that you tie fishing line or rope to, and you anchor them down, so they'll float around. One supposedly is an active one, and one is inactive. I guess this curved thing, they're more afraid of the curve, but they come in a pair. And so basically they would move based on wherever we anchored them in to the beach area. Do we get these 2, or wait to see how we do with coyotes?
Whatever you want. I'll order them tomorrow if you want them.
I wonder if Missy's idea, put something at the Cross Lane too, test the other down there. That's not a bad idea.
We want to see if they,
We'll move these things around.
Don said he could arrange it.
Get a lot, put them everywhere.
Don said he can arrange it. Well, he likes wild animals and stuff too.
Especially plastic one and cardboard one.
Somebody'll have to clean up.
Yeah, but the swans will be easy because you just anchor them and you have them on line, and they'll kind of move around on their own based on the conditions of the water. $139.99
For the pair.
for a pair. I'd say,
I would get those for Cross Lane and just.
I say get them.
I say get them. Okay, can we make a motion because, to,
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 floating swan decoys for
Well,
Crossley.
they come as a pair, so. One pair.
of swan decoy.
I would like to make a motion for a pair of swan decoys for
Oh,
Crossley.
okay, we could try, and then if it doesn't work there, maybe it'll work, I don't know, it's supposedly it'll clear them out for an acre, so, okay, second, any more discussion?
Do we need, I think we might need to add the price on that.
$139.99.
$139.99, and because we're a town, they don't charge tax.
Okay. And Sarah, second?
And we've already ordered 3 decoy coyotes.
That's what the country club uses, that exact coyote.
They use the coyotes?
This same one, and how's it working? These blow in the wind, so it makes it look like they're running around, or moving around.
Yeah, I don't know, they use a,
Are
They,
they working?
are they working? No. No, the ones that are just stationary don't work. So that's why these 2 are rated pretty high. And now, I mean, and this one had 45 reviews, and this one had a couple hundred reviews, 293 reviews for the swans.
Okay.
So we've got to try some of the
You
stuff.
have to try it and say
Yeah,
we tried it.
okay, all right. So the motion's on the table, to buy, Don already purchased the coyotes, 3 of them for $69.95 each. A pair of floating swan, $139.99. Any more discussion on?
nope, we're good.
purchasing? Okay, we're good. Okay,
So
so,
voted.
so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Abstained? None. Okay, good. All right, so we're making, some progress. We also know that, according to Rogers Lake, they're prepared to addle eggs with oil next spring. Also, they claim that some homeowners around there, put the corn oil on the eggs, and we should ask them how successful they.
There are less this year. There weren't any for a while, but I did.
Yeah, but no,
that.
that's changed, so, but they all had babies. So we are gonna be, hopefully in the spring, early spring, we'll get the eggs before they hatch. So we're gonna do that too. So we have coyotes, floating swan, oil in the eggs. And the last one, that maybe we should hold off on is using either, scram to try and get rid of the geese if the coyotes and swan don't work. We should look into goose repellents, okay? Now, and if Rogers Lake doesn't do it, we have the USDA people that we're gonna do it, addle eggs for $13.25, right, Sarah? So, we'll coordinate how to make sure that happens in the spring,
Okay.
okay? All right, and the last thing that maybe we should hold off on to see how well coyotes and swans perform is, we could get there's 2 approaches. I got estimates from 2 people. One, Safe Lawns of Salem, Nick Corraro, of Safe Lawns in Salem, gave estimates for goose scram that they think works better than flight control. Remember we talked about flight control last time? And they basically based on, now, both the estimates I got were based on, let's see if we could do just from the basketball court to the lake between the parking lot and the boathouse. And then if we have to do the area from the basketball court all the way over to the restroom, there was an additional charge, of course. So everybody, I don't think I sent this out because I got this, well,
From Save a Tree, Pete.
oh, I got that out. Okay, I didn't send this one out because this one only came last week when I was in Seattle. So I'll send this one around for everybody. But basically, if you're gonna do those 2 areas, the estimates come out pretty much the same because the Scram, you
SCRA.
SCRAM, Goose Scram. Okay, that works out to $948.98 per application between the boathouse and the parking lot with part closest from the basketball court. Now, if you add on the other area, it's another $718, I believe. And basically, if you add all those together, approximately you'd have to make 12 applications during the year because the applications are good up to 25 days. It soaks in, and this also has the advantage, it soaks in the soil. I know my wife uses deer scram for garden and keeps most of the varmints out of her vegetable garden. So some of these scrams work well. Safe Ones of Salem said they thought this worked better than the flight control ones. So basically, if you will look at 12 months, that estimate comes in around $20,000 for the year. The advantage of this is we can just try it and see over a couple of months of applications if it
So we're
works.
gonna wait on these things until spring.
Yeah, should we like reevaluate this? Like, we're talking about this, but I feel like we're gonna have to just talk about it again. Like, we're trying these other techniques. Should we just try them and then?
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting, that we try the other technique, but I did get estimates since we last met. And this one I got last week when I wasn't around. And
I think a good thing to get along with those are, some, that they could tell us somebody that's been using it, what their luck was.
what's that?
That they could give us names of people that have used it, any towns, and what they,
That's a good idea.
I mean, they might say, it didn't work, or they're only gonna give us somebody that probably did.
And the other thing is too, with price tags for a whole year, around 20,000 for each application. There's a flight control one next. That I got from Peter Edmondson, who's a very nice guy, lives right across the street, from a place in Old Saybrook. We're gonna have to get appropriation for that money. Don can absorb somehow these coyotes and swan, we can get those. But if those don't work, this is the next thing you gotta do. You gotta do something like this.
And if that doesn't work, then we have to go back to what we were,
Yes, and I talk to people in town, there's a lot of people who like to shoot them. But we're of course not gonna do that.
I mean, what Sarah about.
About the roundup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all, but I think that's gonna be a hard sell, especially after what happened in Bristol. So
Then
let's keep our fingers
let's
crossed,
just keep that
That-
for the spring
because, and basically, and
really.
Peter said that really, you gotta start this right in the spring.
Okay.
It's a little late to be starting an application, but the scram, we could start anytime. I'll get to the next estimate, and I will make a point to Safe Lawn Salem, okay, FYI, for you guys, so you can get these estimates, okay? Now, and this is,
We should revisit it early.
the ghost scram comes in big containers, and it's like pellets, and they spread it out, but we're gonna have professionals do this. We're not gonna do it ourselves. Okay, the other one from Save a Tree, Peter Edmondson from Save a Tree, I met up with him I guess the week before I went to Seattle. And, July 19th, he got back to me, that everyone got this from me, right? And basically, it's broken down into a limited area, which would be the area between the boathouse and the parking lot and to the basketball court. A limited area would cost about $5,940 for the year. A more expanded area to include the grass up to Route 1 and the restroom would be, everybody got this, $19,800
For a year.
that's for the whole year treatment. Now, this product is called, they had better luck with avian, migrate, goose, and bird repellent. That's what they use. Tree. But I think we hold off on any decision on that application too. But it's basically the same thing as flight control, but it seems to work better. They get a visual and they get an upset stomach. With the scram, they get upset stomach.
Then they throw up all over the.
But both are safe for humans and both don't appear to hurt any other species other than geese. Huh?
We'll do for the geese.
For the dog.
They got a dog?
Seems to work.
How's that working?
I mean, there's no geese.
Go there once in a while on the numbers.
Yeah, okay. Well, we already used the dog. We did the dog for a number of years and that didn't seem to work.
Turf field, then call it a day.
Well,
They can't eat the
they
turf
just have to
field.
Keep in mind that this is for the other places too. so-
All this Haynes Park stuff does is gonna push the geese somewhere else.
Oh, they're gonna go, and what happens is the people that do these things say it just goes to their neighbors' lawns. But then all the neighbors ask, what did you use? They moved in, guys and gals. There's nothing, they're here they live here with us. The reality. Okay, so that we'll keep on the back burner, but that, if we, in the spring, we want to start doing something like that. Peter said it's best to start in the spring, it's kind of late to start it now, what they do. Which is, his company. And the scram, we could try on a limited basis if our coyotes and swans don't work. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yes, we are in.
Okay, we're in consensus agreement on that, okay. All right, so we go to the next one. Attachment of kayak launch to dock. The last time we spoke to Chris McCauley, who's the president of the Rowing Association, we thought we had an agreement to move the kayak launch onto the closest dock to the beach area. And we were gonna add the one section, 7.5 by 10 to the existing dock, which now has 9 of those, 67.5 feet. And we would add another one, so it'd be 75 feet. And until yesterday, everyone got a copy of, I sent it around to everybody today, because I got it yesterday, about Chris's response. Chris couldn't be here, and Paul Fuchs wrote up. And I think at this point, Don and I should talk to Chris and find out what happened to our other agreement. And if Mr. Fuchs is willing to move it 5 feet closer to his dock, well, maybe for the rest of the year, maybe that's something we should do.
But wasn't there mention of the lake getting more shallow, or is it too shallow where it is, or?
There's sometime, I think this year they're gonna have the September drawdown, right?
Believe so.
I believe this year they're doing it. So what happens in September, they draw the height of the lake down.
And do we know if anybody uses it,
Uses what?
the kayak launch? Have you seen?
I've seen people on it,
In my opinion,
yeah.
some people use it because it's like a novelty. I've never seen anybody down there that uses it because they need it.
Because they need it.
That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I've never seen it.
I happened to see one handicapped person with, I guess, a couple of his family or what, helping him down towards the kayak launch. I don't know if he was gonna say, I didn't see what was going on, but,
Well, I
Yeah,
thought there was
that's-
talk of that moving to the Buttonwell Road.
and there is, so maybe next year that'll happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's gonna happen, but no, the kayak launch is used, I've seen it used a few times,
All right.
but not that much. Now, Mr. Fuchs says during his rowing, he's never seen it. But I have seen people and Don has seen people, and whether or not they're just using it out of novelty, or if a handicapped person ever used it, or a person that's so old, they just can't, not a handicapped person, or just older people, that it has been used. And
So,
if there's somebody, Mike McGee told me, that likes to fish out there and has a kayak he launches from that thing, that he's a semi-regular.
all right, so to summarize, you and Don are gonna have a conversation with Chris,
Yeah, the one, what happened.
the relocation of the, is that it?
Right, and what, yeah, what, we only got, and by the way, there's a correction. It says that Paul's message of August 30th, well, it was, must have been July 30th. It's a minor thing.
Mhm.
But anyway, we got that, and could we please include this as a correspondence? Mary Ellen.
That's always hard for me to do. They don't like it. I can just
Nancy,
copy
no,
it.
Nancy said she could do it.
Well, I'll just,
My wife.
that's so, I have that, right? I'll just cut and paste it into the minutes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for under
Yeah.
correspondence.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
under
Oh, you want
correspondence.
the whole thing? Okay.
Well, just in the minutes, just say and refer to the correspondence we received from Chris McCauley and Paul Fuchs.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Where's Missy? Okay, the next one, is any new business. The one thing we haven't established yet are fees for out-of-town groups for park usage. At the last meeting, Brendan said he was gonna look into that, with, as far as, rules about funding from the state, and when we have to open up. I believe other towns do it, right, Don?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what, and the going rate was $75 an hour?
I don't know.
Okay, just, okay, can we? What,
First of all, we're
you've already,
not being critical of Brendan, but he was tasked to find out if we could do it or not. So there's no sense discussing prices if we don't know if we can do it yet.
Right.
okay, yeah, okay, so I'll maybe reach out.
Let's table this until we hear from Brendan's report.
Right, we'll table this and hear from Brendan. Okay. The next one is the leach problem, at Haynes Park. Now, I did some research and Muck, oh,
Respectfully, before you say that, can I just say what
oh, no, that's right, you wanted to say something about this, yeah, go ahead.
I'm recommending that the town of Oline proceed with dredging Haynes Park swim area and the area around the docks, obtaining the cost estimates, determining work timeframes, and complying with permit processes are the initial steps required. The request for capital line item funding for this will be placed in the 25-26 budget by me. And I am also requesting that the Parks and Rec Commission make and approve a motion to proceed with this as stated.
I would move to proceed with that recommendation as stated.
Right.
Can you
Okay,
send that to me, Don?
Yeah, it's in there.
he already given it to you, he'll give it to you.
It's in my report.
Oh, it's in his report. Okay, so Sarah?
Because, in doing research, we found out the leaches are in the muck. Oh, okay, sure. Okay.
Recommendation.
Would somebody second that?
Yeah.
Okay, further discussion, I would just like to discuss that this muck, which the leaches live in. In fact, I'm totally in favor of dredging, as we recommended to the selectmen and board of finance the last go around. But, each are pooping 1 pound of poop a day, each goose. So a lot of this breaks down, as well as naturally leaves, clippings, weeds, twigs, dead algae, all this contributes to the muck. Okay, so in order to get rid of the leaches, we have to get rid of the muck. And the dredging is the most obvious way to do it. That's all I want to get to the discussion. Anybody else, want to? And, we thank, Michelle Dickey for bringing this up again, and can we include in the correspondence, Michelle Dickey's correspondence about this? I had the opportunity to talk to her in person, when we got the first letter from her.
Yeah.
But there's one, both letters from her to go in correspondence. Because it is a problem. And although if you know how to remove the leeches, it's not a serious problem, but if you don't remove them right, the teeth can stick in there or something.
Oh my God, sorry.
I looked at the geese, I'm like, oh, no wonder, there's no geese.
Yeah,
right there.
leaf mitigation. Okay, all right, so, we have a motion on the floor. Anybody else want to discuss it?
No.
No? Okay, and what's the motion? Do we just,
Sarah moved to proceed with Don's recommendation to do the limited dredging around the dock and swim areas. Did I get that? I mean, I was gonna take it from him.
There's,
Yeah, however he's.
However he worded, and then Missy seconded the motion, discussion followed.
yeah, and, right, and Don's thing's gonna be included in the minutes.
but like,
Yeah.
it's like the first steps are finding out pricing and all of that, right?
We already got an estimate,
You got one estimate, but it's a lot of money, so they're probably gonna say you need to have more than one estimate.
What was the estimate, Tom?
$300,000 for,
The original dredging, but what about this limited dredging?
no,
I didn't say limited, I said swim area and the area.
Swim-
Oh, okay, so okay, I,
swim area and the dock area. And, I sent that estimate around to everybody. That, also includes another 50 feet, they say, from where the swim area would
I
be.
thought it was different.
That's the only way that this is effective. So,
I think that you're gonna have to have more than one estimate based on the price.
right,
There's a scale in town about when you get estimates for things, how many, like bids or whatever you need. I'm not sure.
I will ask Macknick Brothers if they want, I saw Tom Macknick. And there's a possibility I could get an estimate from him. And not too many people do this, Brandon, out here.
Who, did that estimate come from? The one we had?
Should
Shocking.
Shiitake and Sons or something, and they have a place, they have a office in Old Line.
Okay.
And they were very nice to come down there and give us a general idea of what, but then you have to get an engineer involved with them and all, so it's a good $300,000 or so. And maybe even more, we'll have to find out. I'll ask Macknick, Tom Macknick, if he was willing to give an estimate also for that. And I think that's the way we gotta go. Now, Don, if we put it in for next year's budget, that means we couldn't do it until July 1, unless they're gonna make some exception and put some money in to start it beforehand,
Correct.
right? So that's what we gotta do.
Well, I'll get my budget information probably in November,
Yes,
December. I can put it in then and we can talk about it and maybe the powers that be can make a decision
right.
that way.
So it can't be done this year, it'll be done.
No, it's no money.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think this is a great idea, and as we all approved, trying to get it done over the
It has
next
to be done.
2 years by putting money aside 2 years, that seems to have been rejected by the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance. So let's try again. Okay,
Need to vote on-
we need to vote on that, so enough of discussion on that, okay. So, all those in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed, none, abstained, none. Okay, so that's what. God, when I saw that leeches, what else is wrong down there?
Needs to be-
Okay, the next one is any other new business. I had one thing I spoke to Don about. Last year, we had the beach cleaned at least once during the season. It's looking kinda,
Which beach?
Haynes Park.
Okay.
No, because right now they clean the White Sands Beach to the tune of, what is it, $21,000 a season or something?
$22,000 to Soundview area and White Sand Beach.
Right, so when,
Clean, you mean What exactly?
Use the beach machine on it at this time of year daily.
Do they go into the water at all and pull out the weeds that have come in or?
No,
No,
there's
no.
a beach
Yeah,
cleaner.
strictly for the dry beach.
Okay.
So if we could maybe, have that guy come up down and do the beach at Haynes Park and make it look nicer. Right, Don?
That's right, Bob. It would make it look nicer, but we gotta get money.
But in all honesty, a beach cleaner isn't gonna pull up any of the weeds or do anything like that. It's gonna pick some rocks out. That's what it does.
Yeah, what
It's
the,
gonna really make it look,
what
it's
did
gonna
they,
look nice for one day.
Public Works went down there with the backhoe and scraped it.
I think that's what we should do, but not, rather than the beach cleaner, you're right, might go too deep. There's-
I will contact the Dante tomorrow morning to talk to him about this.
Not cleaning
Because
the
people
beach.
did compliment after the backhoe went down, that it got rid of a lot of.
Yeah, it's time for a backhoe out there. It's looking kind of bad.
I'm sure those guys love doing that.
Huh?
I bet they like doing that.
Oh,
We don't like to run that.
I hope so. Okay, so that's what I'd like to add, to clean the Haynes Park Beach and,
New business, and what are we gonna say? You were inquire about cleaning Haynes Park Beach.
I will contact Ed Dante tomorrow morning about
backhoe,
Works cleaning,
the clean.
cleaning up Haynes Park Beach area.
Yes, like that, they did this last year. Okay, so that's the action step. We'll have Don contact Ed, see if that happens. Okay, any other new business?
I do, just
What's,
quickly.
yeah, no,
Could we reinvigorate for next meeting? Don had requested some meetings ago repeatedly to formulate a committee to redo the pavilion and the bathhouse at White Sands Beach. That needs to be done. Maybe we could put a note in Martha's weekly updates to the town seeking volunteers across the stakeholders. I think Eric Olson will have a large role in that, but I don't know who needs to come forward to hopefully be on that committee, because just in talking about how much a fight the White Sands Beach Association put up when we tried to change the pitch of the roof. It is not going to be easy, but it needs to be done.
yes,
Both things.
Yeah.
So I just want to reinvigorate that so it can be on the agenda and we can take any steps between now and then to try to get a committee together.
Well, the fall would be a good time to start that, because then it would be.
okay,
Oh, no,
yes.
One question, is
Yeah.
the pavilion? We didn't end up ordering a pavilion, a gazebo. We didn't end up ordering one, or did we?
For White Sand Beach?
No,
No, but there is some monies apparently to start that project.
oh, there is.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay.
Eric's thing or something.
Oh, Eric's got somewhere in the budget. Okay, so we want to talk to Eric about that. And I think that's a good idea, Sarah, especially for the design of the restroom and what type of pavilion. Right now, everybody seems to like the size of that pavilion down there. It's a little bigger than the one we're gonna have at Haynes Park, correct? Everybody likes that? They hang out there a lot.
They don't want to put another gazebo there because you get the same problems you have with this one. The sand builds up underneath it. They want to put a concrete pad in there and build something off the top of that.
Yeah, but that involves getting a lot of agencies involved. Yeah, and yes, a committee,
Well, put a new gazebo down there, then in 5 years, the Florida boards will be pushing up and
no, but I think, because it is the Long Island Sound, that the DEP has to be involved in the design of how you're gonna anchor it in there. It can't just be sand holding it in.
we know that, Bob. It's a concrete structure. They already got this stuff. They have a concept of what they're.
Oh, well, Eric's got this information. Okay, good. So we already started on that.
So Sarah is suggested to get a committee together to look into or to study, what do we want to say?
Yeah, so
Replacing the bathhouse and the pavilion?
Yeah,
the restroom,
and I didn't realize Eric had already started something, so
Oh, it was,
we'll just go.
money was put in by
Okay.
Martha for the pavilion area thing,
is the idea is to shoot for next spring or something?
probably.
We're calling it a gazebo?
Great.
Well, that'd be great.
Pavilion.
I think pavilions.
I don't know.
okay, let's get information on what they already have done. And then,
Just my point too, and my point being one that Sarah brought up, that I think a committee should be formed, like we do everything else around here, we form a committee and get something done. That's all I suggest.
Mhm.
yes, and I think that's a good idea. Should we make that for the next meeting? Who's gonna be on the committee maybe, or who volunteers from Park and Rec and some others?
Sarah mentioned maybe, I mean, is it something, like you said, mentioning it in Martha's?
Yeah, how has it worked historically? Guys, I'm kind of new, relative speaking to the
But
decades of.
you've already gone through the subcommittee
I
business.
know, but I mean, something like this, like, do you advertise to get people to come forward? Like, how did it work for Haynes Park and?
I think what would
Comments.
probably happen, just by word of mouth, we'd ask, well, you know, who's gonna be on it? And somebody else in the Parks and Rec Commission, and Eric will be involved with it. Maybe somebody from land use, I don't know. Just people who
Because
have
there's
the
a lot-
general knowledge of the things that you're gonna encounter
Yes, I
during
think
the process.
the land use, we can discuss this at the next meeting, but I'll get more information before the next meeting of what all the hoops and everything you have to go through to do this project. Because this project is going to be challenging for the pavilion.
Yeah, because they might have to lose some parking spots, right?
I don't know. Until we find out what's going on, let's, at the next meeting, we'll discuss this more, have more information about what Eric's plan is and the
So
possibility.
talk to Eric, find out money. That's what just, is
I mean,
I will.
that something?
And I would like to attend too, Don, and because I think we would have to get somebody from land use too involved in this. So we have a better idea of what type of small committee to set up.
okay, great. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. All right. Any other new business? No. Okay. Correspondence. We already have the two correspondents from Michelle Dickey and Paul Fuchs and Chris McCauley in there. Public comment. No one in the room here to comment.
Just a quick question. I'm responding to correspondence. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound short in my email. I just didn't know if I had missed someone acknowledging or like how that process goes, because Michelle wrote 2 times and her second time, she had fortunately run into you. And I get that we have some time between meetings and we have to discuss what people put forward, but do we let her know that we
Well,
discussed it?
I'll let her know
Meeting and
that
then-
it's been discussed. I'll
Okay.
talk to her, let her, just as I talked to her before,
Great,
how we tried
thanks.
to do this.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. I
Okay,
just wanted to make sure.
and I didn't know that I was the only one. But anyway,
I guess I always just assume, because Don is so good, that you just know that he's handled it.
yeah, no, but anyway, yeah, I'll let Michelle know that we're putting it in, what Don wrote, we're gonna try and move that into the budget somehow for next year.
She mentioned her research and writing. If she wants to try, I did some research on grants
Yes,
for dredging, because the Harbor Commission had suggested that there might be grants available. There were grants, but my read of it was it would be for harbor-like economic development, which wouldn't really apply. In any case, if she wants to
Should be a
look
great.
for some research, look for some grants, things like Bass Pro Shops are
Okay.
grants. So if she is willing to volunteer to try to find ways to offset costs with grants, I
I'll
would
ask her.
welcome her support.
I'll ask her,
Okay.
I'll ask her.
Does she still do our town report?
No. No, Dickie. Okay, now, the thing, Sarah, we have to be cognizant of is that if we got some sort of grant from the state, such as the steep grants that we've gotten in the
Yeah,
past,
they open the use.
that, and
spectrum.
all
I
of a
get that.
sudden, Haynes
Yeah.
Park would have to be open then to the
Right,
public.
right. So I know. So if she's just able to poke around though, if there's anything that we should be looking at that fits the criteria that we'd want to maintain, it would be.
Yeah,
helpful.
and whether or not, if we did get a grant, we'll have Brendan look into that too, what it would mean as far as,
Mhm.
you know, others using it besides Old Lyme residents and the rowers.
I think the town might be more willing to fund something, even if we just say that we've done a due diligence to try
Okay.
to see what's
Yeah,
available.
I agree. In fact, if you recall, I asked Greg Hack too to look in and see
Yeah.
if he had any contacts for
I'm
grants.
not putting that in the minutes.
No.
What's that?
To ask, until somebody speaks to.
No, I don't put Michelle on the spot. I'll ask
Yeah.
her. I'll ask her and, but I think you can put in something, the idea of grants.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I
Yeah,
was not
yeah.
mentioning Michelle.
That- Yeah, without committing anybody to do it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. So that's coming. We got the correspondence. The next one is public comment. We don't have any public here. Is anybody out in telephone land? I don't think so. It would tell us if somebody was. So based on that, I think we're ready to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, opposed? No, abstain, no.
Thank you.
Okay, you hit the red button, Missy.